finding the equation of a line. Let's review to start out with. Slope-intercept form is the equation of a line that we've been working with, and it is y equals mx plus b. Just recall that m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Now up until now, generally when we've asked you to write the equation of a line, we've given you the slope and the y-intercept. But today we're going to find a different way to write the equation of a line given different pieces of information. So let's look at our first example. Example 1 says, write the equation of the line when the slope is 8 and the y-intercept is -10. So this is an example given the slope m and given the y-intercept -10. So this is what we're used to. So in that case, you would just plug into y equals mx plus b the information you've been given. So y equals 8x, and then b is -10, so -10. And that would be it. Then we're done. So those are simple. Today we'll be given information about the points, the x, y, and asked to find the y-intercept. Example 2 says, what is the slope? And it's referring to the graph over here to the left. So remember that slope can be counted once we find points that are right in the grid. So for example, here are some points. As we go left to right, the graph is going up 2 over 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, as we go from point to point. So that means the slope is 2 over 1, or we can simplify this to just say 2. The y-intercept of this graph is where does it cross the y-axis, and that's right here. Here's the y-axis. The line crosses at the point 4. So there's the point 4. What is the equation of the line then? Well, the equation of the line is y equals m. Our slope is 2x plus 4 because it's a positive 4. So we also had talked about this. Basically just finding the equation of the line given a graph. Well, finally we'll move on to something new using the same concepts. So today you'll only be given parts of the information and we'll have to find the rest using the formulas above. So the prompt says write the equation of the line with the following information. So just recall we're still going to be using slope-intercept form when we talk about the equation of a line. But this time the information we're given in example 1 down here is that the line goes through the point -2, 1. And the slope is 8. Alright, so this point, that -2 is my x value, and the 1 is my y value, because all points are in the form x comma y. That's how I know that. So let's rewrite slope-intercept form here and plug in all the information we know. That's an x there. Let me fix that. Y equals mx plus b. Well, I know that y is the value 1. So instead of y, I'm going to substitute 1 equals m. I've been told that m equals 8. X. M times x, so I'm going to say 8 times whatever x is. And they tell us what x is because the point is -2, 1. So x is -2. Notice when I substituted that, I put it in parentheses. And then plus b. Do we know b? And we don't know the y-intercept. That hasn't been given to us. So that's information we're going to need to find in order to eventually put this in slope-intercept form. But if you focus in on this equation here, after we substituted, the only value we don't know is b. So we can isolate all these other numbers and get down to b equals something. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's solve down. We can simplify this. 8 times -2 is -16. Then we still got this plus b. And over here we still have all of this equals 1. I want b by itself, so in order to get b by itself, I need to move this minus 16 or negative 16. The way I would do that is do the inverse. I would add 16. And since I did it to this side, I have to do it to this side as well. So add 16 to both sides. That cancels it out. I'm left with b over here, which is great. And over here, 1 plus 16 is 17. So that is not my answer to the entire equation. However, it is my answer to finding what is the y-intercept. So going over to this box that's supposed to help us guide our answer into writing the equation, we knew the slope all along. We knew the slope was 8 because that was given to us. We just found b. b is 17. So we can now write the equation of the line. Remember, the equation is in the form y equals mx plus b. So we're going to rewrite this equation substituting for m and substituting for b, those two pieces that we just found. So y equals, instead of m, we're going to write 8. Y equals 8x. And we now know b is positive 17, so plus 17. And there's our answer. That is the equation of this line given the information that we were given from the start. So our goal is largely the same, write the equation of the line. It's just different because up here in example 1 we were given m and we were given b right away. So we just had to plug those things in. But this time we were given pieces of information that allowed us to find b, but we didn't know it right away. We had to do some work there. So let's flip this over. Look at another example here. Let me move this a little so you can see. Number 2 says this line goes through the point 6, negative 1. And the slope is 5 over 6. So again, we have our x value, our y value, and our m value. But what's missing here that we're going to need is b. We don't know b, so we need to go find b. So let's input the information that we do have and then solve down for b. So we know y is negative 1. We know m is 5 over 6. We know x is 6. So I'm going to put that here. It's times 6. And we don't know b. So I'm going to leave it as a variable for now. Okay, right here we've got 5/6 times 6. Well, if you think about it, 6 over 6 really reduces down to 1 over 1. So these 6's are going to cancel each other out, and I'm just going to be left with this 5. Right? If you weren't sure about that, you could put it in your calculator like this. Open parentheses, 5 divided by 6, close parentheses. That's my 5 over 6, and then multiply that times 6. You would still find that you're going to get 5 when it's all simplified. So, but we will leave it as 5 here. So I've now got negative 1 equals 5 plus b. And we're very close. We want b to be by itself. So let's move this 5 by subtracting it from both sides. That will cancel it out here. Negative 1 minus 5 more is negative 6. And that is our b value. And be careful, that's not your answer. Don't just box it here and finish. We need to write the equation of the line. But before we do that, let's focus in. Our slope is 5 over 6. The b value we just found, the y-intercept, is negative 6. So that means the equation of this line is y equals m 5 over 6 x plus b. So instead of writing plus negative 6, I'll just write minus 6. And that is the equation of this line. Okay, we've got a few more examples here. If you feel ready, this might be a good time to pause the video and try number 3 on your own. Okay, so coming back, number 3 says that the line goes through the point 8, 1 with a slope of 1/2. So we know that x is 8, y is 1, because the point's x comma y, and slope is 1/2. So let's plug in the information we know to slope-intercept form. 1 equals m 1/2. X is 8 plus b. We're solving for b, so let's deal with 1/2 times 8. If you think about it, what is 1/2 of 8? Well, that's 4, but you can also think 1 times 8 divided by 2. 1 times 8 is 8, so 8 divided by 2, that's 4. Either way we look at it. So 1 equals 4 plus b. Now we can go ahead and get rid of the 4 over here so that b is by itself. So take away 4 from both sides. 4 minus 4 cancels out. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. That is our b value. So up here we've got a slope of 1/2, a y-intercept of negative 3, and our equation then is y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Okay. Example 4 goes through the point 5, 4 with a slope of 3/5. So same idea. My y value is 4 equals m, 3 over 5. X is 5 plus b. So again, when we have a numerator and denominator that are the same, they'll cancel each other out because 5 over 5 is really 1 over 1 if you simplify it. So we're just going to be left with the 3 here. So 3 plus b equals 4. I want b by itself, so take away that 3 from both sides to keep it balanced. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, so my slope, let me erase that. My slope is 3/5. My b value is 1. So the equation of this line is y equals 3 over 5x plus 1. Alrighty. Example 5. I promise it's the same thing, but the information's been given to you in slightly different wording. So number 5 says that this line has a y-intercept of negative 2 and a slope of negative 7 over 9. Now think about slope-intercept form. We started off reminding ourselves what all these letters mean. The x and y are a point, values of a point. M is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So we've been told what the y-intercept is from the start. We know what b is. We've also been told the slope. Well, slope is our m, and those are the two pieces of information we need to write the equation of the line. So while this one looks more challenging from negatives and difficult fractions, it's actually going to be way faster than the other examples because you're given the information you need right away. M equals negative 7 over 9. B equals negative 2. So the equation of this line is y equals negative 7 over 9x minus 2. Okay, so it is still the case that if you're given the slope and the y-intercept from the start, you can just plug those values in. You've got the equation of the line.